On 7 News tonight, full lockdown. Melbourne's second wave worsens. The border's about to shut, plus the Gold Coast hotel being used to quarantine Victorians.
The race against time after a car plunges into a northern New South Wales river.
Out of control, a Sunshine Coast grandfather killed after an allegedly stolen car mounts a footpath.
The Gladstone man attacked by a snake in his car, then caught speeding on his way for help.
The new Airbnb-style service for Caravan holidaymakers.
And Queensland hubs save the AFL. Now the push for the grand final to be played here.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Sharyn, Ghidella and Max Futcher.
Good evening. Melbourne will be sent back into lockdown conditions as Victoria's COVID-19 case numbers spiral out of control.
The shock announcement coming as state borders are closed to prevent the spread of the virus to other parts of Australia.
Australia's second largest city has been bracing for a second wave. Today, the dam wall collapsed.
We are in many respects in a more precarious, challenging and potentially tragic position now than we were some months ago.
Stay-at-home orders reinforced for 6 weeks. People will only be allowed to leave home for work and education, for care or caregiving, for daily exercise, to buy food and essentials. No visitors, no eating out, businesses back closed, and school holidays extended to all but senior students. A return to the peak of the pandemic.
We know we're on the cusp of something very, very bad if we don't take these steps today.
A hard boundary will ring the city to protect regional Victoria from those who've done the wrong thing.
I think a sense of complacency has crept into us as we let our frustrations get the better of us. I think that each of us knows someone who has not been following the rules as well as they should have.
A dire announcement on a disastrous day. A record 191 new COVID-19 cases as frustrations at already locked down towers reached breaking point. And borders began to close. Victoria, from tonight, will be an infected island cut off from the rest of the country. Dozens of crossings with New South Wales shut down.
I thought the best possible way forward would be for Victoria to be in a semi-quarantine situation. That has now come to fruition.
As Queensland's borders prepare to partially come down. In 3 days, anyone from outside Victoria can travel to the Sunshine State, and plenty are expected to head north, prompting police warnings.
Plan ahead, allow extra time, have your border declaration pass ready, and be patient is a really clear message for everybody.
180,000 border declarations have been downloaded since Friday. In the same time, on the roads, 709 people have been refused entry from Victoria, 12 chose forced hotel quarantine. And at our domestic airports, 33 people were sent back to Victoria, 63 people went into hotel isolation. The Gold Coast's swanky QT Hotel preparing to accept more. With international flights now restricted from entering Melbourne, the pressure is on Queensland to accept more. But our Premier thinks now is the time to protect our success and scale back the number of overseas arrivals. Queensland's first COVID-19 case in 11 days recorded overnight, recently returned on an international flight.
But I think we need to be very cautious, and I think a slowing down of those flights would be a good thing at this stage.
As Australia's pandemic path just took a dangerous turn. Joel Dry, 7 News.
Now to Tegan Dolling in the Victorian border town of Wodonga. Tegan, 6 hours to go and the permit system is still not ready.
Yeah, that's right, Max. As you said, 6 hours to go. And those who live here in Albury-Wodonga who need to travel this causeway, there's still no way for them to apply for a permit. So they're going to be waking up tomorrow morning with a lot of anxiety, not knowing whether they can travel across the border to be able to access things like work and childcare. So a very anxious wait. We know that there will be a little bit of leeway from the police for the next 72 hours to obviously allow them to continue with their day-to-day commute, but I must make it clear they have been told, however, Sharyn, that they're going to have to wait in the car, even though it's going to be a small commute of a couple of Ks. They could be in the car for hours.
Very frustrating. All right, thank you, Tegan. Police divers are tonight working to retrieve the body of a teenage girl whose car inexplicably careered off the road and into a river in South Ballina. Another female was in the passenger seat. She managed to climb free, but the driver could not be saved.
A lonely yellow buoy bobbing on the Richmond River, a marker of tragedy. 6 metres below lies a 17-year-old girl still in the driver's seat of her car. Just before midday, the vehicle missed a right-hand turn on River Road, plunging into the cold water. As it started sinking the passenger, another female was able to free herself.
She was shaken, but unharmed, so she's been assessed by the ambulance.
But the teenage driver was trapped inside as the car sank to the riverbed.
Someone's found the passenger, and then obviously the emergency services have been called from there.
A number of passers-by, as well as 3 police officers, dived into the water to try to rescue the driver. They'll be nominated for Bravery Awards.
It'll shake a lot of people, it'll affect a lot of people, including all the emergency services that here actually tried to get that driver out, and unfortunately they couldn't.
Late this afternoon, police divers arrived from Sydney to retrieve the teen's body and her car as the sun sets on a tragic day in South Ballina. And police divers have just pulled the 17-year-old girl's body from the river. A tow truck and crane are on scene. The crew's assessing whether to lift the vehicle tonight or wait until the daylight. Police want to speak to the driver of another vehicle who they believe may have witnessed the accident.
Thank you, Alex. A Sunshine Coast father lost his life after being hit by an out-of-control stolen car. On a work trip to Bundaberg, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Police considering laying more charges against the driver.
A father to 3, grandfather to 4, 63-year-old David Mallet was a business owner on the cusp of retirement.
He's from the Sunshine Coast and has a family that obviously it's a tragic situation.
In Bundaberg for work, David was walking towards the city, crossing a main road. A driver speeding lost control of a stolen car.
He's attempted to turn away and to get out of the way of the vehicle, turn over.
Witnesses rushed to help, but there was nothing they could do.
It really brings home that speed kills.
The Toyota Camry was reported stolen an hour earlier, seen driving erratically and followed by another driver who witnessed the crash. They helped identify the man allegedly behind the wheel, 27-year-old Robert Noel Futcher, who has since been charged with unlawful use of a motor vehicle and burglary.
He initially went to the Bundaberg Hospital to have his injuries seen to. However, he is now being charged and there will be further charges pending.
David's wife of 43 years, Julie, described him as a well-loved man who adored his family, saying life without him is going to be extremely difficult. Rosanna Kingson, 7 News.
Many thousands of businesses are now bracing for a new round of economic pain from the pandemic as the border closure disrupts operations. Federal Labor is now calling on the Morrison government to extend its assistance beyond September to take into account these new restrictions.
They're 3 hours north from the Victorian border. But at the Yass truck stop on the Hume, drivers are talking about what closure means.
We've got about 14 trucks and we're up and back every day. Welcome to Victoria.
Most expect police will wave them through.
No, we're not going to stop and check at all.
Some worry about traffic snarls.
Essential services have got to get through and the general public can't congest up the borders.
Supermarket giant Coles insists there will be no shortages on either side of the Murray.
We do what we need to.
But says it has learned the lessons of the pandemic.
If we have to reintroduce restrictions, as a last resort, then we will need to do so.
On the border's eastern edge, this New South Wales caravan park operator.
Not again, that's all I felt. Here we go again.
Saw off the fires and the first virus shutdown.
This whole area needs people back to help survive.
In 16 days, the government will make clear its plan for the JobKeeper subsidy. Labor says the border closure makes keeping the assistance all the more important.
He can better target JobKeeper, he can taper it, but he shouldn't just be turning off the tap.
North of the border, they now notice Victorian number plates, so Paul Kelly drives with his postcode on his windscreen. So people can be confident it's not a COVID postcard.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the reason why, yeah.
As he heads for the border before it closes. Tim Lester, 7 News.
A man has faced court in Bundaberg on dozens of serious domestic violence offences. An extensive police search led to his arrest late yesterday. He allegedly kept 2 women hostage, beating and raping them. He's facing 38 charges, including assault, deprivation of liberty, choking, rape, torture and stalking.
I applaud the courage of those 2 young ladies to speak up to police, because it does take a lot of courage to face your fears in that way.
The 30-year-old did not apply for bail and will return to court in September. She's accused of being the chief enabler of billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, and tonight some very powerful people are waiting to see what secrets Ghislaine Maxwell will spill. She's been transferred to a New York jail due to face court later this week.
From red carpets and royal tours to this, a Brooklyn prison tonight home for Ghislaine Maxwell.
She knew she was in trouble.
Close friend Laura Goldman says she spoke to Ghislaine just 3 weeks ago.
I believe that she's also a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. I believe that she couldn't get away from him. I believe that, she tried. He threatened her.
Goldman says she met Prince Andrew at Ghislaine's London home, where it's claimed the prince raped a then 17-year-old girl.
Ghislaine woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today."
Allegations he's continually denied.
Will she implicate Prince Andrew? I would say hell would have to freeze over. But she is facing 35 years in jail, so maybe hell has frozen over.
The socialite is accused of recruiting underage girls for Epstein to abuse. Unconfirmed claims today she has secret copies of videos which could expose powerful people. New details too about Epstein's murky past. A model's come forward today claiming she was sexually assaulted by him at this Santa Monica hotel. She claims police didn't act on her complaint, filed back in 1997.
I thought I was going to a legitimate audition for Victoria's Secrets.
Her lawyer again pressuring Prince Andrew to talk to the FBI.
Does he need a gold-plated invitation delivered by footmen who bow or curtsy to him in order to sit there with prosecutors?
In the United States, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
Heartbroken family and friends have gathered to farewell Rockhampton nurse Karen Gilliland, allegedly killed by her estranged husband last month. The 42-year-old was remembered as a dedicated mother filled with care and love. 45-year-old Nigel Gilliland is in custody, charged with Karen's murder. Youth criminals would be jailed in a 3 strikes mandatory detention policy under an LNP government. Civil libertarians are in uproar over Deb Frecklington's youth justice reforms, but the LNP leader says Queenslanders want to feel safe.
An 11-year-old boy flashes a blade in a Townsville takeaway, threatening and demanding cash. The February robbery, its 11th in 6 years.
Kids have got to start being held accountable.
The LNP leader serving up her solution.
There will be real consequences. If you do the crime, you will do the time.
Seems to be straight out of Campbell Newman's playbook.
Under the LNP, courts would sentence offenders to detention after 3 offences.
There is no more slaps on the wrist.
The appropriate sentence should be determined by a judge.
The LNP would also build community payback farms, rehabilitating released offenders with life skills lessons, but denying Labor claims they echo Campbell Newman's detention boot camps.
The Auditor General gave a scathing report.
The LNP also wants youth justice staff, not police, monitoring bail conditions, breach of bail restored as an offence, and childhood crimes counted when sentencing adults.
This is just a piece of crass political scaremongering.
While civil libertarians downplay youth crime, the Premier admits there is a problem, but says she's fixing it with her $500 million reform package.
The best way to stop a young person offending is to get them skills and get them into a job.
I will not apologise for getting tough on crime.
Law and order now on the menu. Patrick Lyon, 7 News.
As Queensland prepares to open up the borders, a new tourism blitz will target interstate travellers. Stage 2 of the Good to Go campaign will aim to revive businesses and bring back jobs.
The welcome mat for Southerners, inviting scenes, pristine locations. These images will be beamed across the country, everywhere except in Victoria.
We know that there is a pent-up demand, so we're actively targeting Sydney couples for winter escapes.
The Good to Go tourism campaign is ramping up and counting down to borders reopening.
Queensland has so much to offer, and we're very hopeful that with this campaign we can crack that $1 billion injection into Queensland's economy.
Because on the other side of picturesque views, operators are struggling. The tourism industry is usually worth $26 billion a year. It's estimated COVID has pulverised a quarter of that. In the state's far north, the tide is slowly turning.
We've started to see a big influx in passengers now, the terminal's coming back to life.
More bookings are also flowing into Paranala Park, where day tours have resumed. A disco ball has returned for night tours, an excuse for Bob Catter to bust a move.
New South Wales starting to book, and interestingly, some of these are people that cancelled 3 months and 4 months ago.
We know that we'll be able to capture the second week of the New South Wales school holidays and the ACT school holidays.
It's hoped the campaign will boost accommodation bookings by 9 million across the state and crucially get more Queenslanders back to work.
We're COVID safe and all we need now is to see more visitors come through the front door.
Craving a COVID comeback. Marlena Wapp, 7 News.
A state of origin-like battle's about to erupt between Queensland and New South Wales over, of all things, AFL. As the fortunes of our NRL teams nosedive, Aussie rules is flying with the push for a Gabba Grand Final ramping up.
From the city where sport's a religion to God's country, the AFL Premier is one of 6 Melbourne teams exiled in the game's promised land.
I think everyone's really excited to be up here. Good weather. I haven't put sunscreen on in 4 months, so that's nice.
But what's happening in 4 months' time is the state government's goal.
It'd be an absolute coup for Queensland to score the AFL Grand Final in 2020.
Timing couldn't be better. Queensland's NRL sides are in free fall.
We have to represent the club and Brisbane better. We're not doing a good enough job.
While AFL's popularity is booming, capacity crowds and TV audiences in Brisbane are up almost 40%.
And the Lions are playing some exciting football. I think that's what people want to see. If their team's not winning, and at least they're playing some exciting football, we're lucky that the Lions are doing both.
Luke Hodge won 4 grand finals before moving to the Lions.
As much as it'd be good to have a grand final up here, I'm not sure. I reckon there's a Perth Stadium over there or an Adelaide Oval that might get their hands on it.
We'd be absolutely happy to sit down with the AFL to talk about making a grand final here in Queensland a reality.
Then there's this from south of the Tweed.
Sydney is a home of big events. It should be the home of AFL Grand Final and it should be the home of the Melbourne Cup too.
If the MCG can't have crowds, it could come down to the highest bidder. Or
I think we could definitely play the card that the fact that we've worked so hard to make the AFL team safe here in Queensland, it'd be great if they could see that as giving us an edge.
Ben Davis, 7 News.
Now to the weather, and Tony, these sunny skies won't last too much longer.
Yes, Sharyn, some beautiful conditions across southeast Queensland today, but that is about to change. Winds are still expected to turn more onshore and thicken the cloud into tomorrow. Then we're likely to see a band of showers developing across the Gold Coast into the afternoon and at night, spreading further north into the early hours on Thursday. How long will these showers last? I'll be back soon with the forecast.
Thanks, Tony. Prince Harry caught up in a racism row. What the Duke of Sussex said about his ancestors and the British Empire.
She's lived through world wars, depressions, recessions and pandemics, and today Jessie Prowse turned 109, her special message to Queensland.
The first mothballed Qantas A380 arrives in the Californian desert. What's the future for the flagship of the fleet?
And before weather, here a tradie's excuse for fanging it down the highway after a run-in with a brown snake.
G'day, I'm Alex. I'm 110% ready to fall in love.
I could definitely fall in love with Alex. No one's ever done something like this for me. I don't want to watch someone fall in love in front of me.
I've bitten off a bit more than what I can chew. I think this farmer is one step closer to finding his wife.
New farmer wants a wife. This July on 7.
Emotions shape you and make
make you unique. Just like your face. Discover new Nivea Q10 Power for mature skin with 100% skin-identical Q10 to visibly reduce wrinkles and organic argan oil to deeply nourish and replenish your skin. New Nivea Q10 Power for mature skin. 100% skin-identical, 100% you.
Life's changed for all of us, but Bupa's here to help. Because you shouldn't put your health on hold. Because you're going out less, we'll help you at home. And because a little advice can go a long way. Because you can't always go far, we're going further to give you the support you need. Bupa, because life happens.
Did someone say KFC?
Not till after dinner. Oh, did he? Right, yeah. All right, just fine.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Wherever you go, whatever you do, the Honda HR-V will keep you connected, entertained and on track. With Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, now is standard across the range. The Honda HR-V, as different as the people who drive it.
Unlike ordinary toothpaste, Colgate Total's breakthrough formula actively fights bacteria for 12 hours, keeping your whole mouth healthy. Colgate Total. Be totally ready for life.
Last minute needs for your pet? No problem. Get it to your door today with Petbarn's same-day delivery. And with a price match promise, there's everything you need and more at Petbarn.
Tasty, affordable and delicious. What's for dinner in the next break with Coles?
There's a major search effort tonight to find a man missing from Mackay since June 25. New security video shows Robert Botiga at a service station on his way to work. Despite an extensive land and air search, there's been no sign of the 42-year-old father of two or his car, a white Great Wall ute.
All we know is that his disappearance is out of character for him. We certainly are willing to speak with anybody who may have information and encourage people to contact police.
Police believe the man may still be with his car, and that means he could be anywhere.
Prince Harry has criticised the Commonwealth, saying it needs to acknowledge its past regarding racism. The Duke is advocating for equality, while a British athlete made headlines accusing police of racial profiling.
On a London street, police stop a car they claim had been driving erratically.
Look at this. Look at this.
In the back, British Commonwealth Games gold medalist Bianca Williams, handcuffed and forced to leave her 3-month-old baby. She's accusing officers of racial profiling.
The only way I see it is that Ricardo was black and he was driving a nice car.
Across the Atlantic, Prince Harry took his own stance against discrimination. On a call with young leaders, he and wife Meghan spoke of racism and injustice, taking aim at the British Empire ruled by his ancestors.
Certainly when you look across the Commonwealth, there's no way that we can move forward unless we acknowledge the past. It's not going to be easy, and in some cases it's not going to be comfortable, but it needs to be done.
One British MP says Harry's comments are disappointing, going against royal protocol of staying apolitical. Commentators believe it could anger his grandmother, the Queen, the head of the Commonwealth. Harry has been criticised in the past for his lack of racial awareness.
In people's complacency, they're complicit.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the shift that we're seeing.
Now joining the global call for change. In London, Sarah Greenhalgh, 7 News.
A driver has rammed through protesters, with two of them seen gripping onto his moving car. A rally in the US state of Indiana was coming to an end when the driver accelerated. The two protesters are believed to be injured. The crowd had gathered to protest against this video, a 4th of July attack where a man claims he was threatened with a noose by a group of men.
The woman at the centre of a video seen around the world has now been charged. Amy Cooper called police on a black man birdwatching in Central Park. He'd asked her to leash her dog and she called 911, claiming she'd been threatened by an African-American man. She's been charged with filing a false report and could spend a year in jail. Her lawyers say she's already lost her job and her anonymity.
Major new developments in the race to find a COVID vaccine. The human trial's happening now. The first results will be in soon. Details ahead.
An unsung hero finally recognised for his service in World War II. Don't miss this Queenslander's incredible story.
Blasting works beginning on Cross River Rail. What residents can expect.
The man who fought off an Eastern Brown while driving along a Queensland highway.
The school holiday getaway for the entire family, even your pets, all for under $100 a day. How Aussie families are taking great escapes, all without breaking the bank.
You can actually be off on your holiday in a couple of days.
The exclusive school holiday report, only on 7 News, coming up.
What is going on here?
With only 7 of you left, I thought you deserved something special.
Oh boy.
They're all in for an almighty fall. A romance could fall apart. And best mates.
I love you and I hate you so much.
Could have a falling out. No! Ready to pounce.
Cool.
Is the last one
I'll think about it.
anyone suspects.
They've completely underestimated me. This is my game.
New Big Brother, tonight, 7:30 on 7.
Hi guys, Dan and Steph back with you again, thanks to Coles. What's for dinner tonight in our household is a beautiful hearty beef stew with herb dumplings. Now, this is going to feed the whole family for under $20, so let's make it happen.
Right, the first step with this one, guys, very simple. We're going to cut up our gravy beef. So we've got the beautiful Australian gravy beef. So this one is great value for money. And we're going to dice this up, we're going to coat it in flour, and we're going to fry it off. So we're going to get those nice flavours happening already for this beautiful gravy beef stew. So whilst that's frying off the beef, guys, I'm just going to chop up our onion and garlic, get that ready because that's next to go in. We've mixed it up today. I noticed that Coles do these wonderful soup packs. We've got the parsnips, we've got the carrots, we've got the celery, we've got the onions, we've got the turnips, and we've got a potato. Hear that nice sizzle, guys? So now we're going to deglaze the pan with our beef stock and get all that beautiful flavour off the bottom of the pan. Next step, we add our tomato paste, good couple of tablespoons, good slug of our balsamic vinegar. You can see we've got a nice gravy going at the moment. We're now going to add all our veggies.
We're almost there with the stew. It's about to go in the oven, but we're going to pack it for more flavour. We have a bunch of parsley. We're going to use the roots into the stew and the leaves for the herb dumplings later. And we have some thyme as well.
So our stew is ready to go in the oven now. We're going to put it in for 2.5 hours at 150 degrees, and then we're going to crack on with our dumplings. So we're on to our dumplings, guys. This step's very easy. We're going to add 300 grams of flour. We're going to add salt, pepper, our fresh herbs and all our wet ingredients, and we're going to mix them up until the right consistency for a dumpling. You want it to be a little bit sticky and not too firm. We just want to add a little bit of water to bring that consistency together for us.
Okay, so it's been 2.5 hours and our hearty beef stew has been cooking away in the oven.
Smells delicious. You've got the little bit of balsamic coming through. We've got all those beautiful root veggies. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get our dumplings in. The stickier it is, the lighter, the fluffier the dumplings will be. And we just want to get it golf ball size, and you don't want to play around with too much, but then we just want to plonk that in. Easy as that, guys. So we've got our dumplings in there, lid back on, in the oven, another half an hour.
Our hearty beef stew is coming out of the oven.
Scoop it out into a big bowl, absolutely delicious, perfect for winter. And don't forget, guys, under $5 a serve. So get into Coles, get all your ingredients and get cooking.
Sirens will sound in Albert Street tomorrow afternoon when ground beneath the city is detonated for Cross River Rail. The trial blast will stop traffic and pedestrians but only for 10 minutes.
It won't sound like this. The ground shouldn't shake like this. But at 2:55 tomorrow afternoon, the signs warn to expect rumbling thunder and slight vibrations.
It might scare animals and people that are sensitive to, hearing loud noises.
I think everyone will feel the vibrations.
These never-before-seen pictures show where the low-impact blasts will happen. The Albert Street excavation shaft. Cross River Rail should eventually slash commuting times, but tomorrow it will increase travel times. Traffic will stop, pedestrians will too.
It's only 10 minutes and it will be better, so maybe we are okay.
The trial explosions will measure noise, vibrations. The city will be cushioned by blast mats made of shock-absorbing rubber. You don't have to be above it to feel it or hear it. Tomorrow's trial blast has a 200-metre radius, which includes restaurants, relaxation centres, office towers, high-rises. There'll be more trial blasts next week at Woolloongabba.
The city's changing and just got to get used to it.
If we want more trains more often by 2024. Erin Edwards, 7 News.
75 years, an unsung hero. A Queensland veteran has finally received formal recognition for his service during World War II. In a humble ceremony in Kingaroy, Len McLeod was bestowed the 1939 45 star. He could be the last Australian soldier awarded the medal.
3/4 of a century since he fought for our country. In this moment, Len McLeod feels pride and heartbreak.
Very beautiful.
Len was 16, still a boy, when he saw action in Port Moresby in 1942. He volunteered in a biscuit bomber, dropping vital supplies to troops. Eventually, Len was discharged with dysentery, sent home to Australia before re-enlisting with the Americans. Assigned to fire the Bopple's engine, he was one of 3,300 men and one woman assigned to the US Army small ships.
And they all were the same as me. They all done what they was expected to do for the country.
His section saw atrocities and tragedy during the greatest naval battle in history in Leyte Gulf. But after the war, their biggest fight has been for recognition.
On one side of me, I'm very pleased. And on the other side, my heart, I'm a little bit disappointed.
So why did it take so long? Initially, Len's service couldn't be assessed because so many records had been lost, but his case was reconsidered based on decades-old photographic evidence and recounts from other veterans. Now 94, Len's dedicating his medal to the small ship's survivors, those who died and their families.
That they could be recognised too.
A veteran still fighting.
I better not say any more.
In the name of his comrades. In Kingaroy, Tom Hartley, 7 News.
The first Qantas A380 has landed in the Californian desert, one of 10 being mothballed outside LA. Qantas chose the location because of the low humidity. The stay could last as long as 3 years as the aviation industry suffers through the pandemic and future recovery.
One of the world's most anticipated COVID-19 vaccine trials has begun here in Australia. Volunteers have started receiving the vaccine, which mimics COVID-19, and researchers expect early results by the end of next month.
It's one of only a handful of human trials of a COVID-19 vaccine in the world, and it's happening here in Australia.
And it's funded by CEPI, who is the largest NGO currently working to help find an effective vaccine cure. It was one of the vaccines that's backed as a potential winner.
WA volunteers have begun being injected with the vaccine. It's designed to mimic the protein, shape and spikes found on COVID-19.
We will enrol 150 subjects and we'll follow them for over 2 years, looking very closely at safety, how the drug works, and importantly, what is the immune response that this vaccine imparts.
An unprecedented 4,000 people put their hand up to be part of the trial.
I'm in tourism, so there's not much happening at the moment, and I want to get back to work. So the sooner that we can make this happen, I can do that. And I think it's also good for our mental health. You just feel better about yourself if you're helping others.
So far, there have been no side effects.
Researchers say they're feeling confident, and if successful, phase 3 of this trial will see thousands of people around the world receive this vaccine by the end of this year.
And if that goes well, it could result in a vaccine for COVID-19 being available within 18 months. Chantel Tui, 7 News.
She's marking one very special milestone tonight, turning 109. What Queensland's oldest woman wants you to know.
Could a strand of hair help women learn more about their fertility?
Dangerously close, a shark swims near to surfers at a popular beach.
And after sport, it's like Airbnb for caravans, the cheap holiday option saving Queenslanders hundreds.
Heidi, nobody can understand you with that accent.
Welcome to your new family.
I couldn't think. I wanted to get up and dance.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Does your mother know you do this?
New America's Got Talent, Wednesday on 7.
Go on.
At Devondale, we believe great milk comes from cows that graze free.
When cold and flu symptoms strike, a kiss can make them feel better. But for effective relief through the night, there's Nurofen for children. Starts to reduce fever from 15 minutes and lasts for up to 8 hours. Nurofen for children.
Treat yourself to a smooth, delicious barista-made McCafe coffee and we could treat you to a free coffee every day for a year. Drive through and buy any McCafe drink and go in the running to be your local McCafe winner.
When life gives you kiddiness, Godfrey's gives you cleanliness. Hoover Robot Vacuum, $499. Save $100. Award-winning Wurtime Evolution Stick Vacuum, $799. Godfrey's Cleanliness.
Discover new details about your family history with Ancestry. Simply type in a name and let Ancestry guide you on a journey of discovery. Start searching for free at ancestry.com.au.
This July, Hyundai has value you'll have to see to believe. Get great value across our range of vehicles, packed with technology, safety and style. And right now, get a special 2.9% finance rate across the Hyundai SUV range. Contact your local Hyundai dealer today for a limited time only.
Household bills keep going up. You could save money by living in the dark, growing out your hair, wearing 7 layers and surviving on a diet of canned tuna. Or just call iSelect and we could help you save money on health, car, home and contents insurance, internet and energy bills. Now's the time to compare, select and save with iSelect on 13 19 20.
To finance, and Victoria's new COVID lockdown saw our share market dive in the last hours of trade, with the finance and real estate sectors taking a hit. There were solid gains elsewhere though, with gold miner St Barbara well up after posting a production report. The Aussie dollar has drifted lower, currently buying just over 69 US cents, and fuel prices are still high, so delay your trip to the Bowser if you can. A non-invasive fertility test could soon be available for women, with just a strand of hair needed to see if they can fall pregnant. European researchers say the hair can be used to find out how many eggs a woman has. This method has been successfully trialled on more than 150 women. Australia has changed a lot in the last 109 years, and one Brisbane woman has lived through it all. From 2 world wars to the Great Depression, she's still celebrating despite her second global pandemic.
Jessie Prowse was born in 1911. She never thought she'd still be cutting birthday cake more than a century later. With coronavirus lockdowns keeping some family members stuck interstate, She still remembers the 1918 Spanish flu.
I was a little girl and everyone had to wear a mask.
Witnessing the world change, her advice during coronavirus?
The world's changing again. Turn all the negatives into positives.
From meeting her husband playing tennis to long days surfing at Bondi, an active lifestyle has been important.
I'd recommend a lot of exercise.
And the secret diet tip?
Honey was the big thing, and she's often said that's kept me going, honey.
Jessie might not be hitting the tennis court or surfing at Bondi anymore, but surrounded by friends and family, she's looking forward to celebrating another year.
We thought, 100 was the landmark, and we just thought, wow, anything beyond that's just gravy, and here we are 9 years later.
And with the oldest person in Queensland, 110 years old, Jessie still has lots of motivation. I look forward to seeing you next year.
I'll tell you what, I'll get up and do a dance.
Elliot Chipper, 7 News.
We'll hold you to that. Happy birthday, Jessie. A shark has been spotted swimming dangerously close to surfers off one of Sydney's most popular beaches. Here you can see the predator within metres of the board riders off Bronte while hunting a school of baitfish. 3 of the surfers quickly jump on the next wave in, but one waits, seemingly clueless to the danger lurking below. Fortunately, the shark left him alone. Coming up, the new way to have a cheap holiday close to home. And is this the perfect excuse for speeding? The Queensland man who thought he'd been bitten by an eastern brown while he was driving.
Well, let's rev into sport now with Webby.
Thank you, Sharyn. Hello, everyone. The Lions paid the ultimate compliment. Shox's NRL teams are named the biggest at Red Hill, while one-star returns, Anthony Seibold refuses to wield the axe. And World Sport has a new chief money man. Is this the richest deal ever?
As the sun goes down, see what else is going down in Bangkok.
We have to arrest him.
There's big trouble, and our cameras catch it all.
No, it's illegal. Of course it's illegal. Welcome to Thailand.
The new series, Busted in Bangkok, Wednesday on 7.
Hyaluronic acid. There's a reason dermatologists love it.
L'Oreal Paris introduces a powerful new serum, the new Revitalift Filler Hyaluronic Acid Serum. Our highest concentration of hyaluronic acid deeply hydrates, smooths the skin surface and replumps lines from within. In 6 weeks, wrinkles are visibly reduced by 47%.
Now we're talking.
The new Revitalift Filler Hyaluronic Acid Serum from Australia's #1 anti-aging skincare brand, L'Oreal Paris.
Well worth it.
Party pussies.
Dad!
Bring your family together. Optus Family Plan with 4 SIMs and 250 gigs of data to share.
Jess, I love your take on those metrics. Now, Greg, let's talk optics. Is that a pie chart? Because that's a sexy pie chart.
Grab a tasty power lunch at 7-Eleven.
The problem with stubble? Irritation and itchiness. New Nivea Men Sensitive Skin and Stubble Balm. Instant relief from irritation and beard itch. From the Nivea Men Sensitive range. Nivea Men. It starts with you.
Thanks for calling ING. This is Adam speaking. How can I help you? No, I'm currently working from home.
Oh, you can call anytime, so...
Sorry. And she's currently nibbling at my toe right now.
Yeah, working from home was a bit tricky at first, but...
There's definitely been some stray farts, hasn't there, mate?
And now your loan's on a fixed rate. Can I help you with anything else?
No, you made my day.
Well, whatever 2020 throws at you, we're here for a chat anytime.
Too easy.
Construction on Cross River Rail is well and truly underway, which means more jobs and more training opportunities for Queenslanders as we unite and recover against COVID-19. Search Cross River Rail for everything you need to know. Authorised by the Queensland Government, Brisbane.
Did someone say KFC? I don't care.
My knees, they were gone. You know, I was going to get them operated on. Thankfully for me, I had a chance meeting with the guys from the Good Feet store. My knees now are pain-free.
See for yourself with a free personalised arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Just keep winning.
Prepare yourself for Cats and Lions. An unpredictable Thursday night footy on 7 Mate.
Anthony Seibold could never be accused of lacking faith. The under-siege coach sticking solid with poor-performing stars. Ignoring a chorus of club greats and frustrated fans, he's backed halves Anthony Milford and Brodie Croft to rescue their season.
Many believed it was time for Milford to be axed, but Seibold, to the surprise and frustration of fans, is backing his 6 and 7 again.
I don't know, he's the coach, he picks the team, we have to do the job for him.
It's about time players like Boyd, also retained, repaid the faith.
We've still got 12 rounds to go, I still haven't lost faith in our squad.
Tom Dearden had a 10-minute one-on-one chat with Seibold at the end of training, but he's kept on the bench.
I hate missing the finals, so yeah. No, my goal is to make the finals every year, and I still think we can.
Broncos players rallying around Croft after his outburst last week.
Players show their emotions in different ways, but for me, obviously I was hurting, but after the game, you know, you want to take all your feelings in, but come into training, you want to focus on next week.
Seibold has tinkered with the forward pack. Tavita Pangai switching to prop. Corey Oates starting in the back row. Katoni Staggs named on an extended bench, but expected to play. Darius Boyd could yet make way for him. Paul Green's shown he's unafraid to make the big call, shifting million-dollar fullback Valentine Holmes to the wing. Thankfully, Holmes has taken it in his stride.
He was pretty good, given he's coming back from an ankle injury. He's probably not moving as freely as he was before that injury.
Another reason for Holmes' shock switch, the impact of teen speedster Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, who starred in their win over Newcastle. He moves to fullback in place of Valentine.
That's not saying, you know, he's a better player than Val by any stretch, but it is a big show of confidence in him as a player.
The injury-ravaged Titans again forced into change, but Tyrone Roberts has been dropped for Corey Thompson, while on the wing, debuting is Tremaine Spry. Chris Gary, 7 News.
So much drama in the NRL right now, Gilly. I'm loving the theatre, which is why Ivan Cleary's kiss goodbye, to me, is good.
What's wrong with a bit of banter between clubs and fans? I gave a few spectators a lot worse in my day.
And I'm pretty sure they deserved it, Gilly.
Well, he did hit me in the head with a can. Anyway, the footy's great too. The Storm Roosters clash was epic. I can't remember a game that thrilling.
That is because you had too many head knocks. But while that was top tier, Brisbane's players are so tied in knots right now, they burst into tears post-game. That is a bad sign for the team.
I've never seen emotion like that, Webby. Their minds are clouded right now. The coach needs to simplify the game plan. Forget the big plays. Just stop the soft tries and don't drop your head when something goes wrong.
Well, passion is something that can go wrong. Fanua Blake's abuse of the referee is as bad as it gets, and I'm pretty sure 2 weeks is not enough.
Yeah, we're struggling to get refs in our game. It's unacceptable.
So is this high shot. No, let's call it what it is. An ugly, cheap shot from BJ Lalua.
He needs to wake up to himself. That's not tough, it's dirty. It's not the first time he's done this, Webby, and I'm willing to bet it won't be the last.
The Lions are the benchmark of the AFL. That's the declaration of Geelong coach Chris Scott as his team prepares to stare down Brisbane in the Battle of the Big Cats Thursday night in Sydney. Non-committal over Gary Ablett's place in the side after revealing his little boy's health battles. Scott had no doubt over where his former club sits in the game's landscape.
I don't think there's any question that they're a genuine threat this year, and I can't think of many bigger challenges right at the moment. Their last month has shown that if they're not the benchmark right at the moment, they're pretty close.
And the Suns confirmed boom teenager Matt Rowell needs surgery. 3 months of rehab, all but ending his season. The party's over at Ballymore, with the Reds now laser focused on bettering Friday's breakthrough win over the Waratahs when they hit the Rebels at Brookvale. Muscling up against their arch rivals for the first time in 7 years, Queensland want to shed the one-hit wonders tag. Consistency, their Achilles heel.
We don't want to be, as we have been in previous years, where we'll put up a good win one week and then lose poorly the next week. So we want to go out there this week and put out another good 80-minute performance and even better than Friday.
Back row Angus Bligh has passed his concussion test and will be available to play Melbourne. In England, two of Tottenham's biggest stars had to be separated by teammates during their clash with Everton. Spurs captain Hugo Lloris taking issue with Son Heung-min.
raised there. It tells me that they care.
that little discussion at half-time for me is a very positive thing.
After winning 1-0, the pair hugged it out, proving the old saying, winning solves everything. Football Federation Australia is sweating on a government exemption to get 3 Victorian A-League sides across the border. Players left stranded at Tullamarine Airport last night when their flight to Canberra was cancelled due to bad weather. All 5 Victorian-based supercars teams hit the road to ensure they aren't left stranded when the border closes at midnight tonight. There's a new top dog in American sport. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes has agreed to a 10-year contract extension worth, wait for it, an eye-popping $640 million. The reigning Super Bowl MVP could earn almost $750 million over the course of the deal if he hits bonus targets. It is the richest contract in the history of US sport. What would you do with it all?
How do you even spend that amount of money?
I'd have a crack.
He's not going to starve, is he? I would too. All right, thank you, Evie.
So.
If you've got a caravan or have ever thought of buying one, this story is for you. A site like Airbnb for RVs means school holidays just got cheaper, and there are hundreds available to rent for less than $100 a day.
Sandy Christensen-Smith has never owned a camper or a caravan, but she's hooked. Instead of buying gear worth tens of thousands of dollars, she's joining friends on holiday for less than $100 a night on share economy platform Camplify.
Literally, you can put in your personal stuff, the food you want to eat, and you're on your way.
It's like Airbnb for RVs.
Trailers, camper vans, motorhomes and caravans, and something for everyone's budget.
Perfect for husband and wife Jordan and Julie Ryan.
It can make you about $10,000 a year.
Before, they only used their caravan 5 times a year. Now they rent it out all year round, starting at $90 a night. They'll throw in everything plus the kitchen sink, barbecue, cooking utensils, salt and pepper, even a bottle of wine in the fridge.
So things like camp chairs, cutlery, all those things are included, gas.
Plus a coffee machine, washing machine, shower and flushing toilet.
We provide everything you need, and there's no commitment, no obligation until you actually get a hire.
And if you get into car troubles...
Fully comprehensively insured, full roadside assistance anywhere in Australia.
But keeping the kids entertained is up to you. Georgie Chumley, 7 News.
He was speeding on a Queensland highway when he got the fright of his life. Next, the driver who fought off a snake with a knife while behind the wheel.
And at the moment, it's 18 degrees on the Gold Coast. Showers returning tomorrow. I'll have all the details. That's coming up next.
The total picture, the full story, the answers you need. Every night, turn to 7 News at 6 o'clock.
Give in to Fresh. Give in to Subway.
Tested 10 years in 10 minutes. Because it's what's inside that counts. And that's what makes it clearly a Sealy.
Reason. From the moment we're born, we're conditioned to find it. Why does it feel good to dance? Why are we drawn to the water? We're consumed by a need for explanation. But some things just defy rational sense. When you move beyond what's known and into what's felt, you don't need a reason.
Once again, our kids' calendars are busier than ours, and we only ever want the best for them. But sometimes rushing around can leave them worn out, even sick. If that happens, there's children's Panadol, which can start to reduce fever in just 15 minutes. But before they get sick, maybe we could slow down and rethink ways to make things easier for them. And for us. Together, let's rethink care.
Unlike ordinary toothpaste, Colgate Total's breakthrough formula actively fights bacteria for 12 hours, keeping your whole mouth healthy. Colgate Total. Be totally ready for life.
Well done, Queensland. Further restrictions have been eased. But as people participate in more activities, it's important that anyone with symptoms, no matter how mild, gets tested and stays home. Symptoms include fever, cough, sore throat, shortness of breath, loss of sense of smell, runny nose and fatigue. For further advice, contact your doctor or call 13 Health. Queensland, we're in a great state, but now's not the time to let our guard down. So keep up your social distancing by staying 2 big steps away from others and avoid any unnecessary contact. For more information, visit the website.
Authorised by the Queensland Government, Brisbane.
It's back, the ultimate cheesy garlic bread sub. Make your favourite sub inside hot, cheesy garlic bread. Give in to the ultimate cheesy garlic bread sub. Give in to fresh, give in to Subway.
It's their dream.
Move to Italy.
Yeah.
Oh, we're moving to Italy.
That is amazing!
And we want you to come with us.
And if this is all we have tonight. Would you choose your family or the love of your life?
They want me to move to Italy with them.
I'm not moving to Italy. Are you going?
Home and Away. Next up on 7.
Today's main stories now. Melbourne residents are going back into full lockdown for 6 weeks as Victoria's second wave spirals out of control. And police have now retrieved the body of a 17-year-old and her car from a Ballina River after the vehicle failed to take a turn earlier today. Her passengers survived. A Gladstone man has had the fright of his life fighting off an eastern brown snake while driving on the Dawson Highway west of Calliope. Pulled over for speeding, the man managed to wriggle his way out of a fine.
Pleading his case on the side of the road.
I think it's bitten me. It was in the car with me.
A 27-year-old man known only as Jimmy is in a slippery situation, caught driving at 123 kilometres an hour on the Dawson Highway.
You can feel my heart, mate.
You found a snake in your car?
There was a brown, it's in the back of the tray, mate.
At first, the police officer is sceptical.
Ah, that one.
The deadly eastern brown laid out on the tray of the ute.
And I just started to brake, and the more I moved my legs, the more... Because it's pretty big. It started to wrap around me, and then its head just started striking at the chair.
Jimmy told police he used a seatbelt and a work knife to fight off the snake. Believing he'd been bitten, he was on his way to hospital.
Yeah, that's right. He's got the snake in the tray. He's pretty panicky. He's conscious and breathing at the moment, but need QAS here immediately if we can.
Paramedics confirmed he was suffering shock but wasn't bitten.
Yeah, it was pretty bloody terrifying. I'm not going to lie.
No, I would be too.
I've never been so happy to see red and blue lights.
Jimmy wasn't fined. Isabel Mullen, 7 News.
A fair excuse, I suppose.
I think so. If you had an eastern brown in your car, you'd be speeding too.
Yeah. Weather now, Tony. A few drops of rain on the way.
Yes, Max, the next 24 hours will bring a change in our weather as a band of heavy showers moves across the southeast very late tomorrow. But for today, the Sunshine State lived up to its name. Those clear skies met another cold night. We've seen a couple of spots push just above the July average today. Looking at the numbers, Ipswich coldest on -1 this morning, a top of 23 degrees. Canungra 0 up to 21. All coastal and bayside suburbs topped out at 20 or 21 degrees. Moving on to the chart, showers and cloud have been building just off the southeast coast today. Some light rain totals up towards Cairns and the north tropical coast. Otherwise, clear skies for much of the mainland. Tomorrow, a cold front sweeps across southern parts of WA. Our high pressure system driving our winds actually moves into the Tasman Sea. Winds turn onshore, so we'll see those clouds and showers starting to pick up later in the day. An increase also for central and tropical parts of Queensland too. Around the capitals tomorrow, a shower or two for Perth, then some chilly mornings across the southeast. Hobart 1 up to 10 degrees. Melbourne and Adelaide, minimums of 4 and 6 degrees. Now back to northern Queensland, those showers pick up a bit. In Mackay, they're most likely in the morning. Townsville, just a possible sprinkle from late morning onwards. At Cairns, showers possible at any stage. They'll be more frequent into Thursday. Heading south, a bit more wet weather on the coast too. Showers most likely from Gympie up towards Maryborough, Hervey Bay, and possibly even up towards Bundaberg. 1 or 2 drops for the Granite Belt too. Inland frost slightly less severe as extra humidity helps keep minimum temperatures a little bit higher than today. Now, across the southeast, add a degree or two onto the minimum temperatures from today, then expect plenty of sunshine in the morning, cloud thickening into the afternoon and showers setting in later around the Gold Coast from mid to late afternoon, then sweeping north later at night. Ipswich 5 tonight, the top of 23 degrees. Across the suburbs, again, plenty of sunny breaks before these showers set in late in the day. Manly tracking for 21, Ferny Grove 10 to 22. Boaties southerly winds to 20 knots early, turning onshore into the afternoon. So in Brisbane, those showers are likely late in the day, 11 up to 22 degrees. Then looking further ahead into Thursday, showers likely early in the day, easing later. Friday, still showers, maybe some early drizzle too. In Ipswich, drying up and warming up for the start of the weekend, a top of 24. Similar on the Gold Coast, but drizzle or light rain on Sunday. A similar pattern on the Sunshine Coast too. Drying up into next week and overall falls, maybe 10 or 20 millimetres, but worth dusting off the wet weather gear.
Thanks, Tony. And before we go, here's a look at a special report we have for you tomorrow night.
Brisbane's weight loss poster boy, from this to this, after 2 heart attacks and 20 years as a diabetic.
I just hope I can inspire other people.
Dropping 51 kilograms and counting, showing others how to kick diabetes to the curb. How he did it on 7 News at 6.
But that's all from us this Tuesday. Thanks for your company.
From all the team, have a good night.
Good night.